So everyone's been talking about the M16 being a great long-range weapon inside Warzone. In this video, we're going to compare it to one of the best long-range guns, the GRAU, to see if it actually is the best. If you enjoy videos like this, weapon comparisons, weapon breakdowns, and overall tips and tricks for Warzone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And also, if you just want to relax and watch some gameplay and watch us play, follow us over on Twitch. We've been live streaming for the past couple of days over there. We've been having so much fun streaming and we would love to see you over there. So I can't make this video without mentioning the AMAX. The AMAX is without question the best assault rifle in the game, but the reason why we're comparing the M16 to the GRAU in this case is that it's much easier to control the recoil of the GRAU, and the main question we get asked is if the M16 is easy to control just like the GRAU, and would this be a viable long range option because they don't like the AMAX. So we have found out some really interesting things about the M16 and we'll get onto that later on in this video, so make sure you stick around for that. But on the screen just now, you'll quickly see the class setups we use to compare both of these guns. We all know the best builds for these guns by now, but let's take a look at the stats. We have the GRAU on the left, the M16 on the right, white is just the main stats for the gun, in green is some highlight areas, and blue is with the attachments added to both of the weapons. So let's start off with damage with both of these guns. The GRAU's headshot damage starts at 42, then drops off down to 33. Then the body shot damage starts at 28 and drops off down to 22. The M16's headshot damage starts at 72 and has no further damage drop off points. And then the body shot damage starts at 40 and again has no further damage drop off points. So what this means for the M16, in theory, you would actually get the same time to kill all the way out to infinity with this gun, but that's not how this gun actually works, and we'll explain that later on in this video. The rate of fire for the GRAU is 730 rounds per minute, and what that means is at close range, so below 31 meters, you're going to get a time to kill of 658 milliseconds, then after 31 meters, you'll get a time to kill of 904 milliseconds. Adding on the monolithic suppressor as well as the Archangel barrel extends your damage drop-off point all the way up to 48 meters, which is definitely a huge bonus. So for the M16, we included all the burst delays in the rate of fire just to make it simpler to understand, so this is what you'll actually experience in-game. For the rate of fire for the base weapon, it's 436 rounds per minute. Adding on the titanium barrel makes this 470 rounds per minute. You can see how this affects time to kill now, so the base time to kill is 825 milliseconds if you're landing all body shots, and then when you do add that titanium barrel, this reduces the time to kill down to 767 milliseconds. The GRAU at close range has a faster time to kill than the M16, but the M16 is definitely more consistent across all of its ranges. And this is not to mention, if you land one single headshot within any of your bursts with the M16, this is going to drop that time to kill down to 391 milliseconds, which is definitely pretty damn quick. Considering how easy it is to land headshots, or at least just one headshot with the M16, is the reason why a lot of content creators are recommending the M16. But those headshots are only easy to land at close to medium range, and we'll show why later on. But moving on to the rest of the stats now, the base aim down sight time for the GRAU is 221 milliseconds. When you add the attachments, it goes to 394 milliseconds. The M16 has a base aim down sight time of 300 milliseconds. Adding the attachments gives it an aim down sight time of 355 milliseconds. What that means is the GRAU without any attachments has a faster ADS time, and then when you stack attachments, the M16 actually has the faster aim down sight time. Magazine sizes match up exactly with both of these guns, but you'll find yourself running out of ammo much more quickly with the GRAU than the M16 because it's fully automatic. Reload times are much quicker on the GRAU, and then finally bullet velocity on the base GRAU is much better than the M16. And the exact same happens when you stack attachments for both of these guns. The Modern Warfare weapon always comes out on top. So what can we take away from all of this information? So in terms of aim down sight times, the M16 is definitely faster in that department. Bullet velocity and reload times go to the GRAU. Time to kill, in theory, it looks like the M16 is definitely the better option. It's way more consistent at range, and you're going to get that 767 millisecond time to kill all the way out into infinity. And if even by luck you land a single headshot, you will almost half your time to kill, which is definitely a huge bonus with this gun. Now, if you know you're going to pair this gun with a sniper rifle and use it at close to medium range, the GRAU has definitely got the faster time to kill up close. But notice how I said in theory, because this is the second part of this video where it's very interesting. This is going to be focused quite heavily around the M16, and it's quite interesting that no one's actually mentioned this yet. So next we did some recoil testing, and you'll see the chart on screen just now. And what we did is we actually tested at 30 meters because usually people will use these guns at around about that distance. And not to mention, True Game Data tested at roughly the same distance in his video as well, but he got some really surprising results and I was unsure to how he actually got it. I'll explain that in just a moment, but what you'll see on screen just now is the M16 in pink and the GRAU in blue. You can see I fired all 60 rounds into this wall here. There's a lot of horizontal recoil for the M16, and this is not noticed in the True Game Data video. And for the GRAU, it's pretty self-explanatory. It goes upwards and to the right. We all know what the GRAU recoil pattern looks like. So the GRAU definitely looks much better in the M16 and much easier to manage, but I wanted to know exactly what I did different to True Game Data in his video. And what I noticed the main issue was idle sway control. There's no attachments that actually help with idle sway control on the Cold War guns, and the Cold War guns have tons of idle sway for some reason. And that is what is making the Cold War guns so unusable at long range. So you're going to see me run this testing on screen just now, and I marked the wall, which is 30 meters away, and fired 5 bursts into the wall to see what kind of recoil pattern I would get. Then I went prone to do the exact same testing again, fired 5 rounds, and this reduces as much idle sway as possible, and you can see how vertically accurate the M16 is. And as you can see, idle sway has a huge impact on these guns. I've not changed the class setup in any way, shape or form in between doing this testing, and you can just see how much more accurate the M16 is if it didn't have any idle sway. Another weird thing I found out as well is that the axial arms 3x optic actually helps with vertical recoil. What you'll see me do on screen just now is use the axial arms 3x optic and fire 5 bursts into the wall to see how straight the bullets are. Then I switch to the Vision Tech 2x, kill myself, and then go back to this same wall and do the testing all over again. Again, you'll see me fire the same 5 bursts into the wall side by side to see how straight the lines are. And what we're looking for here is if the lines are vertically straight, just like the axial arms 3x, or if there's any inconsistencies or horizontal recoil. And what you can see on screen just now is that the Vision Tech 2x is much more inconsistent at keeping your bullets straight, so the axial arms 3x optic is definitely the best option here. So if for some reason you wanted to use a lower zoom optic like I was planning to do with the Vision Tech 2x, I would recommend against it because it actually makes your recoil worse. And you almost have to use the axial arms 3x optic to make this gun viable at long ranges. But once again, I do have to mention that idle sway because the idle sway is ridiculously bad on the M16. And as you can see in my testing, I was trying to time my shots perfectly to make sure no idle sway impacted the recoil results. And for this reason alone, I can't really recommend the M16 at longer ranges. Sure, at close to medium range, it's a great gun because the idle sway is not that noticeable. But as soon as you try and get to those longer distances, it feels like you're firing almost a completely different gun and you're missing so many shots. And this is the reason why. So personally, at those longer distances, the GRAU is definitely a better option. Regardless of how good the time to kill is with the M16, it doesn't really matter because you won't be landing any shots, whereas you can land tons of shots with the GRAU and you'll be killing people left and right at long range. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, leave us a like. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, breaking down weapons and explaining how they actually work, subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And also go ahead and follow us over on Twitch. We're trying to get a lot of our followers moving over to there so we can make much more content for you. Thank you very much for watching.